Well, I'm super excited about the campaign, and I'm super excited to introduce David Usher.
Awesome.
Thinking about David over the years, I believe he probably holds the record for being on the building committee continuously for 20 years. Thank you, David, for always saying yes.
Thank you, Pat. And for those who I haven't met, my name is David Usher. My wife, Beth, and I joined this congregation in the late 1900s. And the members ever since. I love that it's generation to generation for the Capital Campaign. We started going to church here 30 years ago when we were living in this neighborhood and just walking through the neighborhood, kind of stumbled upon the church. Decided to check it out because we were curious, and immediately we felt like we were seen and we were welcomed in and belonged. And even though we moved away for some time, we came back and we've never not been members of this congregation. So we've always felt welcome here. And something that's, I think, yes, I have been on involved in the building in some way or another for quite a while. And that was, I had the pleasure of very early in my career, very early in joining this congregation to serve on the building committee that made this happen, where we're sitting today. So I remember a time when you would go in, you would enter the main sanctuary through the front porch, the steps that led right down to the street. And it was a very challenging time then to raise the funds and to imagine a future that was very different from what people knew. But the congregation came together around that, and it's just been wonderful to see how that's changed over the years. Some of you may not know of what had been here before, or how our buildings have served this community, and I want to talk to you about the compassion that I see in this community in the way that Zion has continued to serve over the years. Some of you may remember, or may not, that following Hurricane Katrina, the building across the street, which is now the food pantry, was a home for people who were fleeing the storm and devastation in New Orleans, and we provided a home for them. That's now the home for the Ham Food Pantry. Just one of the ways that we've showed our compassion. After another devastating storm, this campus hosted a food distribution campaign. We were called on to be a place where people could come and gather MREs and bottled water and things that people needed. And Zion of course said yes. And so it's not just that we had the space for it, but the people here, the compassion of everybody here that really makes that happen. One of my fellow coworkers that he and his family were beneficiaries of that very event. And I remember him telling me about it, and it wasn't the place, the building, it was the people, it was the compassion that he felt from everybody here. And the church, we tell our children, and we know this ourselves, the church isn't the people, but the building is the instrument that helps us do some of what we do. It is an instrument of compassion. And so having a facility that enabled this community to serve the community through that particular event is especially meaningful. And it's served so many different things over the years. So, as Pat said, I may have the record for being somewhat involved with the building for many, many years. And as a designer, as a interior design and architecture, I have always believed that the spaces we inhabit really shape the way that we behave. They shape the way we interact with each other. They can enable things to happen, or they can hinder things from happening. And so this building, these buildings that are part of Zion's campus have enabled us to really show the compassion that this community has and to share God's love with everybody around us. So as we're thinking about the future of these buildings and the future of this congregation, I want you to think about it that way. It's an instrument of compassion. It's a way that we can continue to serve and continue to grow. I learned this morning that this congregation once had over 1,000 worshipers on a given Sunday. I remember a time when we were dozens. And it's so wonderful to see it growing again. And when I was on the building committee 30-something years ago, we were imagining a bright future, and I think we are still. And so I would encourage all of you to think about that and support this instrument of compassion for the next 30 years.
Thank you.